By 2030, half the jobs you see around you today will be done by machines that don't eat, don't sleep, and never call in sick. And the terrifying part, the technology making that possible already exists. It's been tested, it's been funded, and some of it is being installed right now in cities you've never heard of. We're not talking about robots from science fiction. We're talking about a real, silent revolution happening in labs, warehouses, and underground tunnels. A revolution most people won't notice until it's already reshaped their entire world. Join us and let's discover the 20 technologies that will change the world. Let's go. Humanity has always looked at the night sky and seen points of light. That's all they ever were, distant, cold, unreachable dots. The James Webb Space Telescope ended that era permanently. Launched on Christmas Day 2021 and positioned 1.5 million kilometers from Earth, 4 times farther than the Moon, Webb is the most powerful space observatory ever built, and its first images broke the internet for a reason. In a single photograph, it captured thousands of galaxies, each containing hundreds of billions of stars, in a patch of sky so small you'd need to hold a grain of sand at arm's length to cover it. That's not poetry. That's the actual scale of what this machine revealed. But the images are just the beginning. Webb's primary mission is to see the universe as it looked 13.6 billion years ago, just 100 million years after the Big Bang, by detecting infrared light so ancient and so faint that no previous telescope could touch it. It's essentially a time machine pointed at the origin of everything. Beyond the cosmic history, Webb is actively analyzing the atmospheres of exoplanets, worlds orbiting other stars, sniffing them for water vapor, carbon dioxide, and methane. Those are the chemical signatures of life. We are, for the first time in human history, using a machine to ask whether we are alone in the universe and actually getting data back. Whatever answer Webb eventually finds, nothing will ever be the same. When Elon Musk unveiled the Cybertruck in November 2019 and the shatterproof window immediately shattered on stage, the internet exploded. But here's what got lost in the mockery. Tesla took over 1 million pre-orders within days. Because underneath the meme, the Cybertruck represents something that the truck market, the most profitable vehicle segment in America, has never seen before. The exterior is constructed from ultra-hard 30x cold-rolled stainless steel, the same alloy used in SpaceX rockets, making the body panels virtually impervious to dents and corrosion. No paint, no rust. A truck body designed to last decades without degrading. The electric powertrain delivers performance numbers that make traditional truck owners deeply uncomfortable. The top-spec Cyberbeast version hits 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.6 seconds, faster than most sports cars, while still being able to tow over 11,000 pounds. That combination has never existed before in a production vehicle. The onboard power system turns the truck into a mobile generator, capable of powering a house for days during an outage, or running a full worksite off the vehicle's battery. But the real disruption isn't the specs, it's the category assault. Ford, GM, and Ram have dominated the American truck market for generations. Tesla walked in with a stainless steel wedge and forced every legacy automaker to accelerate their electric truck programs immediately. The Cybertruck didn't just enter a market, it detonated inside one.
Only 1% of people know the dark truth behind what we are about to show you next. If you want to be part of the few who actually know what's happening in the world, subscribe and leave a like right now. Done? Look at this.
Number 11. AirPod Smart Napping Pod. Productivity culture has spent decades pretending that sleep deprivation is a badge of honor. Science disagrees. And now infrastructure is finally starting to catch up with what neuroscientists have known for years. Rest is not a luxury, it's a performance multiplier. The AirPod is a sleek, self-contained personal pod designed to be placed in airports, train stations, hospitals, offices, and shopping centers, giving individuals a private, quiet, safe space to rest, work, or recharge.
Think of it as a premium capsule hotel experience, compressed into a single unit, deployable almost anywhere. The business model is franchise-based, meaning the barrier to entry for deploying these is intentionally low, spreading them into cities globally at scale. The privacy element alone is a massive selling point. In an era of open-plan offices and chaotic public spaces, having four walls and silence on demand is increasingly rare and incredibly valuable. For travelers hitting a 6-hour layover, for night shift workers needing a mid-shift nap, for surgeons between procedures, this changes the calculus of how we manage human energy. The cities that integrate these pods into their transit and commercial ecosystems won't just be more productive, they'll be more humane. And any technology that systematically increases human performance while reducing burnout is not a luxury product, it's essential infrastructure.
Number 10. GR2 Humanoid Robot. A year ago, Shanghai's Fourier Intelligence showed us the GR1, and it was impressive but skeletal, almost unsettlingly fragile looking. Now they've launched the GR2, and the word upgrade barely covers it. This machine is taller, heavier, smarter, more dexterous, and dramatically more powerful than its predecessor. The hip actuators alone generate up to 300 Newton-meters of torque, which, to put it plainly, means this robot can lift a weight close to its own body mass of 55 kilograms. Imagine a machine that can pick up and move nearly everything a human factory worker moves, without a break, without a salary, and without a health insurance claim. The GR2's hands have received significant engineering upgrades, making fine motor tasks far more achievable, gripping irregular objects, manipulating tools, performing assembly operations that previously demanded human dexterity. The humanoid form factor matters here. Unlike industrial robotic arms bolted to floors, a humanoid robot can work in spaces already designed for humans, warehouses, kitchens, construction sites, without requiring infrastructural overhaul. That's the insight that makes this category of machine genuinely disruptive. The GR2 is not a proof-of-concept prototype. It's a serious, production-ready step toward a world where physical labor, brutal, repetitive, injury-prone physical labor, is no longer a human burden.
Every single source of energy humanity currently uses, coal, gas, oil, wind, solar, nuclear fission, is either finite, polluting, or weather-dependent. Nuclear fusion is none of those things. It is, without exaggeration, the closest thing to a perfect energy source that physics allows. Fusion is the same process that powers the sun, forcing hydrogen atoms together under extreme heat and pressure until they merge and release an enormous burst of energy. The fuel is hydrogen isotopes extractable from seawater, which means the supply is essentially unlimited. The byproduct is helium, an inert, harmless gas. No carbon emissions, no long-lived radioactive waste, no meltdown risk, and the energy output dwarfs everything else we have. A glass of seawater contains enough fusionable hydrogen to produce the energy equivalent of burning 500 liters of gasoline. In December 2022, the National Ignition Facility in California achieved ignition for the first time in history, meaning the fusion reaction produced more energy than the lasers used to trigger it. That was the moment the scientific community had been chasing for 70 years. The ITER project in France, a collaboration between 35 countries representing over half the world's population, is now building the largest fusion reactor ever constructed, designed to produce 10 times more energy than it consumes. The era of limitless clean energy is not a fantasy. The engineering is underway. The only question left is how fast we can build it.
Right now, over 4.5 billion people on this planet lack access to essential healthcare. Not basic healthcare, essential healthcare. The kind that catches a tumor early, monitors a chronic condition, or diagnoses an infection before it becomes a crisis. The Forward Care Pod is one of the most direct answers to that problem ever engineered. It's a compact, autonomous mobile medical unit that combines advanced robotics, AI diagnostics, and telemedicine into a self-contained capsule that can be deployed anywhere, a rural village, an urban food desert, a disaster zone, the middle of a conflict region. Inside, patients interact with state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment, while remote healthcare professionals monitor, assess, and consult in real time via telemedicine platforms. AI assists with diagnostics, flagging abnormalities, and prioritizing cases. The implications for global health equity are profound. A technology like this doesn't just help individuals, it restructures how healthcare systems extend their reach. Imagine a network of care pods deployed across sub-Saharan Africa, rural India, or the remote American Midwest, each one performing thousands of consultations per year that currently never happen at all. Healthcare access has historically been determined by geography and wealth. The care pod is a direct assault on both of those constraints simultaneously. This is medicine for the 21st century, not just for those who can afford a hospital, but for everyone.
The wheel is one of humanity's oldest inventions. For thousands of years, the basic principle hasn't changed. A round object spins, and a vehicle moves forward or backward. Goodyear just blew that paradigm apart. The Eagle 360 Urban is a perfectly spherical tire concept, not cylindrical, not rectangular, but a complete sphere, magnetically levitated and connected to the vehicle without any physical axle. That design alone is mind-bending, but the technology inside makes it genuinely revolutionary. The tire's exterior is covered in a bionic rubber skin, packed with sensors that continuously read road conditions in real time. Wet road detected, electrically triggered micro-actuators beneath the surface pull individual tread elements into specific patterns, optimized for wet grip. Dry road, they push out into a smooth configuration for efficiency. The tire thinks. And because it's a sphere, a vehicle equipped with 4 of these can move in any direction, including sideways. Parallel parking doesn't exist as a problem anymore. Traffic navigation in tight urban environments becomes a completely different challenge. The AI system processing sensor data coordinates all 4 tires simultaneously, constantly adapting to road conditions faster than any human driver could perceive them. We've had smart cars for years. This is the first time the tire itself becomes a smart device.
Number 6. XPeng Aero HT Land Aircraft Carrier. Flying cars have been a joke punchline for decades. Always 5 years away, always just a concept, never real. September 2024, XPeng Aero HT ended the joke. At a live preview event in Guangzhou, the company publicly unveiled the Land Aircraft Carrier, a modular flying car system, where an air module detaches from a ground vehicle and takes flight independently. They didn't just show a model, they flew it, live, in public. The system is designed around a key insight. You don't need the entire car to fly. The air module handles aerial travel between cities, and the ground vehicle handles the last-mile logistics. It's modular transportation, a car and a plane that share a chassis and a user. XPeng Aero HT's founder outlined a clear 3-stage commercialization strategy, with pre-sales targeting the end of 2024 and a public crewed flight debut at China's massive Zhuhai Air Show. This is not a startup fantasy. XPeng is a publicly listed production-scale EV manufacturer with real engineering infrastructure behind this project. The regulatory pathways are being actively navigated in parallel with the engineering. When flying cars stop being prototypes and become products, and that moment is closer than you think, the entire concept of distance between cities collapses into something barely distinguishable from commuting.
The most dangerous thing about getting to Mars isn't the launch. It isn't the radiation exposure. It isn't even the landing. It's surviving once you get there. Mars has no breathable atmosphere, no liquid water on its surface, temperatures that swing from -80 to +30 Celsius in a single day, and radiation levels that would give an unprotected human a lethal dose in under a year. NASA's HAVOC, the Habitat Demonstration Unit, is built to solve all of that simultaneously. It's an inflatable habitat system designed to support long-duration missions, providing life support, including air, water, and food production, while shielding inhabitants from radiation and the brutal Martian environment. The inflatable design is a critical engineering decision. it packs down to a fraction of its deployed volume for the journey, then expands on arrival. It's like a space-rated camping tent the size of a small apartment. But the implications of Havoc go far beyond camping. This is the testbed for permanent human presence on another planet. Every system inside it, waste recycling, atmospheric management, radiation shielding, psychological isolation mitigation, is a piece of the puzzle that needs to work perfectly before NASA commits to sending humans who can't simply come home if something fails. Mars colonization is not science fiction anymore. Havoc is the engineering blueprint making it real.
Number 4. Starport Mars. If Havoc is the survival shelter, Starport Mars is the city. This architectural concept envisions a vertically structured Martian settlement, a full stack from orbit to underground. At the top, a docking port receives arriving spacecraft from Earth and beyond. Below that, a ground-level research facility serves as the operational hub, and beneath the surface, pressurized subterranean habitats house the actual living quarters for the colony's permanent residents. The underground placement isn't aesthetic, it's survival engineering. Mars's thin atmosphere provides almost no radiation shielding. Going underground solves that problem with meters of rock and regolith between the colonists and the lethal cosmic radiation above. The tower structure is designed to be modular and replicable. An identical unit can be built nearby, and the two can be interconnected, then a third added, and so on. A single starport becomes a network becomes a city. The self-sustaining ecosystem inside uses 3D printing robots, nuclear fusion power, and space farming to close the loop on resources, meaning the colony doesn't die if a resupply mission from Earth is delayed by months or years. Space elevators move passengers vertically between the docking port and the surface. What Starport Mars represents is a complete blueprint for human civilization on another world. Not a visit, not a mission, but a permanent, multiplying, self-sufficient presence on a planet that currently has 0 humans on it.
For most of human history, we've understood the universe through visible light, the narrow sliver of the electromagnetic spectrum our eyes can detect. X-ray astronomy blew that wide open. Black holes, neutron stars, gamma-ray bursts, the most extreme objects and events in the universe emit their most dramatic signals in X-ray wavelengths, invisible to any optical telescope. The problem has always been that large X-ray observatories are rare, expensive, and oversubscribed. They can't monitor everything at once. NinjaSat is the answer to that gap. This 6U CubeSat, roughly the size of a shoebox, is a collaborative project between a Lithuanian manufacturer, Japan's Riken Institute, and Mitsui Bussan Aerospace. It's designed to conduct high-cadence X-ray monitoring of bright X-ray sources, active black holes, neutron star mergers, pulsars, and transient events that appear suddenly and fade within hours or days. The key to NinjaSat's value is flexibility. Large observatories are scheduled months in advance. NinjaSat can pivot rapidly to observe a new transient event the moment it's detected. It fills the observational gap that no existing facility covers. And at CubeSat scale, it can be built and launched for a fraction of traditional observatory costs, meaning more of them can exist simultaneously, creating a distributed X-ray monitoring network across low Earth orbit. We are building the tools to watch the most violent events in the universe unfold in real time.
Imagine boarding a vehicle in Los Angeles and arriving in San Francisco in 35 minutes. Not a plane, no airport security, no runway, no altitude sickness. A ground vehicle that travels at 670 miles per hour. That is what Virgin Hyperloop is engineering. The system uses a network of low-pressure sealed tubes through which passenger pods levitate using magnetic technology, eliminating nearly all friction and air resistance, the two forces that make going fast on the ground so energy-intensive. Without those resistances, speeds that would be physically impossible on a conventional rail become not just achievable, but efficient. The energy consumption per passenger per mile is projected to be dramatically lower than both aviation and conventional high-speed rail. This isn't just about speed, it's about fundamentally restructuring geography. Right now, cities are economically connected by the time it takes to travel between them. Reduce that travel time by 80%.
We have mapped more of the surface of Mars than we have of the ocean floor. The deep sea, covering over 70% of this planet's surface, remains the most unexplored, least understood environment on Earth, and it holds answers to questions we haven't even thought to ask yet, about new medicines hidden in undiscovered organisms, about mineral resources that dwarf anything accessible on land, about geological processes that control earthquakes and tsunamis, about ecosystems that have evolved in complete isolation from sunlight for millions of years. The deep underwater habitat from research organization Deep is not a submarine, it's a permanent, livable, modular underwater city. Constructed from interconnected pressurized habitat units called sentinels, the structure is built on the seabed at depths of up to 200 meters, where scientists can live and work for up to 28 days at a time without surfacing. The implications are staggering. Right now, a research diver studying deep water biology gets maybe an hour of bottom time before decompression requirements force them back up. Living at depth eliminates that constraint entirely. Scientists can observe, experiment, and collect continuously around the clock for weeks. The habitat is designed to open to the public by 2027. That's not a distant dream. That's 2 years from now. When that happens, the deep ocean stops being an alien frontier accessible only to robots and starts becoming a place where humans live. The last great frontier on Earth is about to be settled.
If you thought this was terrifying, you are not ready for what they found in the video on your screen. Click it right now. The truth is worse than you think.